And we are live. Well, good Thursday evening. Happy New Year. It is 2026, y'all. And I am coming at you this evening with a little of the usual saving money unapologetically with your host, PG. That is me. I hope that you are all doing well out there and that you're all off to a fresh start of the new year, the first day of the new year, and we can move forward. As the title goes, folks, you see money is tight, prices are high. And that is the God's honest truth that I'm going to bring to you today. However, just know that things are going to depend on us as individuals, we the people, to get through the long road ahead that we have for 2026. So with that being said, I'd like to open up this evening and say again that money is tight and prices are high. And maybe, just maybe, folks, the goals that you have or the goals that you had last year, you were not able to necessarily obtain them. But now it's a new year. And right now, some of you are sitting or driving wherever you may be out in YouTube land. Who knows? But some folks would probably say that they feel farther away than they ever have before from meeting those financial goals. But here's the truth. You can still take control of your money in 2026. You can still take control of your money in 2026. You just need a new game plan. And what I mean by a new game plan, I'm going to go over a few things with you that have worked for me and have worked for others. And some of it I got from other people. I got from financial advisors, counselors, and what have you over the years. And they are still proving to this day to be very effective. Now, what looks good on paper to me may not necessarily look good on paper to you. So what I need you to do when you're following along with this vlog or podcast or whatever you want to call it is to take the examples or the recommendations that I'm giving to you and apply it to your needs and your situation, because your situation or your household debt or whatever is not the same as mine, and mine is not the same as yours. Yours is not the same as the neighbor across the street or the apartment dweller above you or below you or next door to you or whatever, or your coworker or your friend or whomever. So apply it to you before you start with the negativity or, oh, I only make so much and I can't save anything. Let's work together to try to figure out things. Let's listen to this vlog or podcast with an open mind and apply what you can to your situation. Not everything that I'm going to recommend or suggest today or this evening, tonight, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are in the world, may not necessarily apply to you, or you may not be able to apply the full brunt of it, but you may be able to tweak some things and actually come out on the winning end by making it work for you. So I'm going to get right into things as we speak. Again, you're listening to Saving Money Unapologetically with your host, PG. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the vlog, share the podcast, share this video with family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, or whoever you feel may be of some benefit to. please don't hesitate to share it. I thank you all for tuning in. Saving money in 2026 is basically going to be the same as it would be in any other year. However, again, money's tight for some people, for a lot of people, for the average person out here. And prices are high, whether it be for automobiles, whether it be for tires, whether it be for food, whether it's coffee, whether it's pet supplies, pet food, clothing, you name it, prices are up there. People are still being laid off. There are more layoffs to come in the near future. There's a lot going on. But just know that it is not the end of the world. And where there's a will, there's a way. But we have to stay motivated. We have to stay focused. We have to be focus driven. We have to have drive and determination to make things work for us and our families. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be a number of things. I'm going to recommend a combination of things that can work together. And once you apply some of these things in your situation, your financial situation, you'll find that either it's going to work or it's not, or either you need to tweak it or adjust accordingly. So there's nothing that is totally etched in stone that we're going to talk about tonight, folks, that you have to do. But it is a suggestion. But you may come up with something that is a little bit harsher or a little bit more streamlined or stringent in your budget plan versus mine or versus someone else that you may know, or a colleague or coworker, a friend or a family member or a neighbor. But again, please do what is necessary to suit your financial situation and what you can do to make it better. And remember, you have to start, we all have to start somewhere. So why not start with small steps and grow those steps and keep going? Once the motivation increases and the momentum builds and you see some progress, then you're going to gain even more motivation and more gut and more gumph and umph that you can put forward to keep going. Even when something comes up and there's a hiccup in the road, and you have to get something fixed or an appliance replaced or repaired or something, you will still maintain some sort of motivation and maintain a sense of, hey, it was working, so why not keep going forward instead of just stopping cold turkey and letting the chips fall where they may. I'm going to invite each and every one of you to start off with this combination. Try it out. If it doesn't work, like I said, be the first to change it, because when you change it, it's affecting you and your nucleus or in your household or in your home or wherever you are, your group of people, your subset, whatever. It's not affecting me. So don't be afraid to make it work for you. The first suggestion that I have is automating your savings. Careful budgeting, concentrating on debt reduction, and being very, very strategic in your spending cuts. I'm going to say this again. I recommend this combination of things to all of my listeners and subscribers, and to all of the folks who happen in on this vlog or podcast today or whenever. And that would be to automate your savings, careful budgeting, debt reduction, and being very strategic in your spending cuts. The number one key to having success in your budgeting or financial goals is consistency. Consistency and being intentional rather than drastic. Making a one-time change, folks, is not going to solve your dilemma, or it's not going to help per se in regards to you budgeting and staying on a financial budgeting track and being able to be successful at whatever your budget goals are. Consistency is the number one key to being successful in obtaining your financial goals. Nothing happens per se overnight. It does take time. Set some clear goals. I suggest writing things down. And when we write things down and put it in front of us, sometimes we can see some things that we kind of overlooked and we kind of like, yeah, it's no big deal. But yet, when you see it in front of you, it becomes a really big deal and needs to be handled or addressed accordingly. Set clear goals. Define why you're saving or why you need to save. If you need to put it on the back of an envelope, put it on the refrigerator, put it maybe on your computer monitor, your desk, maybe stick a Post-it note on the mirror in the bathroom, maybe on your dresser, your vanity, whatever it is you need to do, with a few of those goals that you need to tackle first. But you want to define why you're saving, such as for an emergency fund. If you don't have one, now is a great time to start building one. You got to start somewhere. Maybe you have the emergency fund, let's say 90 days emergency fund, and you want to take it to 6 months. Or you want to add on to it and build up to the 6 months. The ultimate goal being a year, perhaps. Or you're maybe saving for a vacation. Being specific makes it easier, folks, to measure and helps to maintain the motivation into why you're doing it in the first place. Automating your savings is basically what you need to do, or what you should be doing is treating your savings or treating saving money as a non-negotiable bill. Meaning that you treat that savings just like it's a bill every month or every week or bi-weekly or however you get paid, and set up auto transfers or automatic transfers. That way, that particular money that you're wanting to set aside does not move over into the general fund or the general pool where you have a little fun money and it's in your checking account or it's in your debit card account or whatever it is, and it's easily accessible. And the next thing you know, you've kind of like what we call pinched off of it or kind of borrowed up from it, and I'm going to put it back, and the putting it back never comes. So be intentional about it and make it non-negotiable. And by making it non-negotiable, to me, it's just basically automating it where it doesn't come in your hands. You don't get a hold of it. It's automatically put into a separate account, and you can watch it grow from there. Create and stick to a budget. Some of us don't know what a budget is. Go look it up. Google it. Do Chat GPT. Do Perplexity. Do whatever it is you think is necessary to be able to understand a simple budget. Write down all your bills that you owe. Write down the amounts that you owe. Write down your monthly stuff, your weekly stuff, your bi-weekly stuff, whatever, your yearly, your 6 months, car insurance, home insurance, whatever. Then you have a full picture of what it is that's coming and going in and out of your wallet or your checking account, your savings account, monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, whatever, yearly, whatever. You have to start somewhere. Write it down. A budget is a realistic money plan, and it helps you to see where your money is going. You need that. You want to build an emergency fund. Things happen all the time, and if it can happen, it's going to happen at the most unopportune time or the worst time it could possibly happen, after payday, knowing you don't get paid till next month or whatever, and it'll happen. Sure as we're sitting here, sure as we're driving along, listening in the car, truck, or wherever you may be, we all know that Murphy's Law, it's going to happen at the worst possible time. So building an emergency fund, starting an emergency fund, growing the emergency fund. Let's just say you have 1 month emergency fund that will pay all your bills. And after that month is gone, because it'll fly by, you have no more money that you can pull in or move to something else in order to pay something. Build on to that. An emergency fund is the foundation, in my opinion, of a healthy financial life. Being able to cover those unexpected expenses, like car, like I said, or home repairs, even medical bills. Sometimes one serious illness or bout with something that puts you in the hospital and then go to rehabilitation facility or something could financially bankrupt you or medically bankrupt you. If you have that readily available, then you don't have to necessarily rely on credit cards, or maybe trying to go get a home equity loan, or maybe taking out a second mortgage on your home, or going and securing perhaps a personal loan. It's hard to get these things when, say, you're in poor health, or your health is failing, or you have a health crisis going on, or you're up against something else that could bankrupt you or whatever. But if you have 3 to 6 months already saved up, you have a little bit of breathing room, a little bit to put things into perspective, a little bit of time to maybe do something different and pivot in a different way. Maybe rent out a room in your home, or maybe think about selling the home, or maybe thinking about leasing it out and moving into an apartment, or moving with a family member or a relative or something. It will give you some type of peace of mind. Even 60 days of an emergency fund is better than nothing. Even 30 days is better than zero. Start somewhere and build onto it. The next thing I want to talk about is eliminating high interest debt. Some credit cards carry a whole lot of high interest, depending on your credit worthiness or your credit score. Sometimes people just get a credit card and they don't even realize that they're damn near 30% interest or something wild. That's wild to me. That's, I got a couple of people that I know, they're paying $900 for a car note. That's that's crazy to me. I mean, nah, I'd ride a bicycle first. No, but I mean, whatever floats your boat. This is not that important to me. But anyway, back to eliminating high interest debt. You want to pay, if you have that and you know you have it, or if you don't know that you have it, then when you do a self audit and looking around at your finances and seeing what percentage of interest you're paying to certain bills, and you find that you have a couple of those, then what you want to do is work to try to pay the high interest debt off as quickly as possible. What is as quickly as possible? Maybe 30 days, 90 days, 60 days. I don't know. A year, 18 months, might be 24 months. I don't know, because everyone's situation is different. I'm just saying and putting it out here, putting something on your mind so that you can think about it, so that you can apply certain things to your financial situation to help better your financial situation in 2026. What happens is when you pay off, though, high interest debt, it will save you money in the long run. And in most cases, when you do the math, if you were to invest or if you were into investments, you actually come out better by paying off the high interest debt, and the money that it's going to save you in the long run is actually going to outweigh the money that you would get from most investment returns. I'm going to say it again. Depending on the debt, the size of the debt, and the percentage amount of the interest that you have to pay, we're in the high interest. And when you pay that off, and the savings that you're going to reap in the long run is going to far surpass and outweigh the investment return that you would get if you had regular traditional investments working for you. I'm talking about with the same amount of money, though. I'm not talking about $75,000 in debt and you only got $6,000 in investments. Well, that's not equal footing. That's not, okay? All I'm saying is it would outweigh, if you were comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, when you pay off that high interest, it actually could exceed, and most times it will exceed what you would have gotten if you would have been doing investing and getting the returns back. Because that high interest rate account is definitely more interest than the return on investment that you would get from the investment side of things. That's where we come up with that. Getting off into my MBA, but that's neither here nor there. That's long time ago, but those tactics and principles still apply to this day. All right. Everyday cost-cutting tips. Let's go over everyday cost-cutting tips, because we could all continue or always find extra ways to save money. When we save the money, what do we do with the savings? Like I said, we may pay off some more high interest debt. We may put it in towards our emergency fund. We may save it for a down payment on a house. We may do other things. It just depends. We may pay off medical bills. We may pay for a medical procedure. It's your choice. It's your money at the end of the day. But we can all use tips and tricks and things to apply to our everyday living and cost of living, and how we can cut costs. So I ask that everyone do a self-audit, and a self-audit on subscription services. What I mean by subscription services, we already know what comes to mind first is streaming services. Okay? Sam's, Costco, BJ's, your warehouse, big box where we pay money as a subscription or as a service. Walmart Plus membership, Amazon Prime membership, anything that we can think, gym memberships. Do a self-audit and find out what's coming out of those accounts, that these services that you're not even partaking in. If you went to Sam's only one time or twice last year, chances are you did not even pay for the cost of that membership. If you ordered from Amazon twice last year, you did not, more than likely, depending on what size of the ticket, what item you purchased, and the ticket price may not have even exceeded the cost of the membership. So do a self-audit, y'all, and find out just how much you're spending on things that you are not getting any benefit from. Yeah, you're paying $100 and some a year per se for the Amazon Prime membership, You don't watch TV that much, let's just say, or you don't really have any favorites on Prime Video that you really binge watch or what have you. And like I said, you occasionally order from Amazon. Well, if you occasionally order from Amazon, then you can meet or exceed whatever their bare minimum that you have to spend in order to get the free shipping. Just do that and save yourself some money. Um, Gym memberships. A lot of us, we go and we get us a gym membership. Oh, we break into the gym. Fat people like myself, whatever, even haven't had the weight loss surgery, lost 100+ pounds. Um, we can't get in there for you skinny folks in January and February, but by March, it's empty. It's the same regular people that's in the gym because we always come to the gym. We're always working out. We're working towards our fitness goal. This is just something that we do. If you haven't been to the gym in the last 90 days, cut out your membership. Okay? Because you've had 90 whole days to think about it and get back into the gym at least twice a week or 3 times a week, bare minimum. If you haven't been to your gym that you're paying monthly for, whether it's $10 or $100, cancel it. Go walk around the block. Go walk around the neighborhood. Go drive to the park. If you work at an office park or huge office complex or office building, walk up and down the steps. Walk around. Do whatever it is. Gym, free. So do a self audit and reduce that debt. Streaming, gaming memberships, PlayStation Store memberships, Xbox membership. What else? What else do they have? What is it called? Steam membership. Whatever it is you're paying for and you're not using it. Beauty box memberships, beauty club, books, magazine subscriptions, whether it's digital or paper format or whatever, and it's collecting dust on your coffee table or on your desk or whatever, and you haven't even opened it. You just looked at the front and back cover. Do yourself a favor. Cancel it. Put that money towards something else to pay off the high interest credit card that you have, or to help build or continue to build onto your emergency fund. Save for that vacation, that cruise, whatever it is you want. Put those things out of the way and take it back out of your budget. Give yourself a little bit more income than you previously had by canceling those subscriptions. Do it as soon as possible. Also, food delivery, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Okay? By the time you get the food, most times it's cold. Then you're paying out the ass for it. I'm not saying if that's your thing and you're able to afford it, but if you're eating beans and rice and noodles and whatever, noodles and oodles or whatever it is, you can't afford it. Don't DoorDash, don't Uber Eats, don't Grubhub, don't do any of that. Instacart, whatever. Cut it out. And then take the money that you were spending twice a week or 3 times a week or whatever, pay yourself. And then turn around and move that over into a separate account, or go pay on something on a credit card, or go put that towards your emergency fund or your vacation fund or whatever it is you need to do. This will save you a significant amount of money monthly. Do it for 1 month. I challenge each and every one of you. If you're doing those different things like that I just called out, do it for 30 days. Stretch it to 60 days, and you will see just how much you save. Several $100s, I'm sure, if not more. It depends on, the person and what it is you're purchasing and how often you're ordering these things. Shop smarter. When you go to the grocery store, or when you go to the big box retailers, or Walmart or Target, if you're still shopping at Target or wherever you're going, all these, make a list. We don't have to have pen and paper in hand. We can put the list on our phone. We can talk to our phone and actually say what it is we want, record it to the list. It will write it out for you, and you can take it in your pocket, in your purse, in your back pocket, in your front pocket, in your hand, into those stores. That way you can safely come out of the store having purchased what you went in for, and maybe one item you treat yourself, or maybe two things, or something is drastically cut in price and you want to take advantage of that sale because you know that's an item that you use quite frequently and you could use some more of it, or you can put it in the freezer, then that's fine. But it will save you in the long run from just rolling around on the aisles, picking up, throwing it in the buggy or your shopping cart, and the next thing you know, you have a problem. You went in and your budget was $50 and you spent $103. It just depends. So, like I say, shop smarter, make a list, and avoid the impulse buys. We can do it. We're all guilty of it, but it can be done, folks. It truly can be done. Optimize your home energy use, folks. We can save on something on our utility bills, especially our heating and cooling bills, by sealing the doors and cracks and windows. Making sure that our water heater has a water heater blanket around it. Making sure that our outside pipes and faucets are wrapped for the winter months. Making sure that they're not freezing and bursting and we're having to call out a plumber. Having access to the app from our utility company, asking if they have a home audit that they can come out and perhaps do, or do they have a program where they're giving out some free things such as weather stripping, door stripping, window seal stuff. Maybe they can go in the attic and seal up some things if the need is there. A lot of times we don't know that these things exist from our co-op, electrical co-ops, or our utility companies unless we see it online on our billing statement, or you're still getting a paper statement. A lot of times they will insert that into your bill. And when you read about it, hey, give them a call or just call and find out. A lot of times it's free and you can gain a few things. Sometimes they'll give you a free smoke detector, or maybe a carbon monoxide or a combination detector. Sometimes they'll offer door stripping or weather stripping. I mean, those little things that they send out, with a contracted company, and you can obtain that. I mean, hell, it's free and it can't hurt. It can only help seal in, your heat and your air versus it going out and you losing it and you're still paying an absorbent amount of money each month to the utility company. And you find that you have some leaks. You find that, in the attic, there's some gaps and what have you that needed sealing. You find that you don't have the water heater blanket or whatever. You haven't wrapped the pipes on the water heater. You have a faucet outside that's exposed to the elements or what have you. You have outside pipe running against your brick wall if you have a brick home or whatever, and that's exposed or whatever, could potentially burst in frigid temperatures or what have you. If you could put just the styrofoam sealant around it or what have you, or the pipe wrap around it, I mean, you could save yourself hundreds of dollars. So please do yourself a favor and optimize your homes, and try to become more energy efficient. Using public resources such as YMCA programs, library programs. Take advantage of free community events. Sometimes the library or a particular organization within your community where you reside will have, say, lunch in the park, brown bag lunch. A lot of times they'll have on the weekends, they may have a high school they're practicing, or they're putting on a free play for a couple of hours. You can take the family out for that, or you can go out and make it a social event. A lot of times you'll have a library that may have what they call a seed or plant exchange in the spring and in the fall of the year, where people have some leftover seeds, or perhaps they purchased too many and they just want to get rid of them, and they find that they bought more tomato and bell pepper seeds than they were buying their lettuce, and they may be a little short, but someone has an abundance of lettuce seed packs that they want to exchange for perhaps cabbage or kale or something, and it's free. You get to meet people, you're out of the house, you're socializing, and it's an event and it's a win-win situation. You walk away with seeds that you would have had to go to Home Depot or wherever, your local hardware store, True Value, or Ace Hardware, and purchase these items. So don't forget to take advantage of public resources. Also, some communities have movie night. They'll have a movie in the park during the summer months. Sometimes in the fall of the year, they'll put on one or two of those events when it's, early fall and it's not too frigid out. So that's a way to, one, you don't have to spend the evening at home. Two, you can take a little brown bag snack or lunch or whatever with you. Supper with you, and you can watch the movie. It's free most of the times. Investments. Let's talk about investments and long-term moves with our money. Utilize high yield accounts, high yield savings accounts whenever and wherever possible. Move if you've already built up, let's just say you have 2 months of a emergency fund that you have just sitting in a regular savings account, a couple $1,000, or let's just say $1,500. All right. And your financial institution or credit union or whatever you use has a high yield savings account, and the bare minimum that you can deposit is, let's just say, $1,000, and you have 15 or 1,800 or $2,000, and you're growing your savings, your emergency fund, and you're trying to get 3 months or 6 months, put it in the high interest, because chances are you haven't used it yet. There may come a time when you do need to withdraw from it. Find out how many withdrawals that you're able to use. People are still texting me. It's New Year. I'm sorry, y'all. Find out how many withdrawals that you can do within a month or 6-month period or a year period. Sometimes the high interest they'll come with some rules and some things that you have to abide by, but nothing, super bad. But they just don't want you pulling the money in and out, taking it, they want it to grow. They want it to stay there. So they making money and you make a few dollars. And with that, what happens is when you put a bulk amount of money in a high interest account, that interest becomes favorable, and the rates are usually higher than it would be if it was just getting less than 0.5% of interest or something like that. Or just, let's just say that you were saving your emergency fund and it's at home, sitting maybe in your closet, sitting in a little in the drawer, in the dresser drawer, or sitting somewhere in your kitchen, I don't know, in a jar, in the freezer, I don't know, and where it's not drawing anything, and all you have is the $1,000 or the $1,500, $1,800, $2,000. But if you were getting 3% or 4.5 or 6% interest, that's another $60, $100, whatever it is, it adds up. And then as you continue to deposit more money into the account, then you'll grow a little bit more here and there. And you're getting money that actually the money is working for you, because you're getting money off of money, but you're not putting as much in, but it's still growing. So it's a win-win situation. Maximize if you have. Oh, and let me back up, folks. 1 minute here. Let me go back and say, in the investment part of it, especially under the high yield investment accounts or the high interest bearing accounts, if because a lot of times the Federal Reserve will make an announcement, whether it be on social media, whether it be on mainstream media, whether it's on untraditional media, they will make an announcement, and it'll normally hit the airwaves somewhere, somehow, and they'll say that they are expecting to have interest rate cuts. Interest rate cuts. will affect you if you have not locked that sweet deal of an interest already in. And what I mean by that, let's just say Jerome Powell, uh, January 15th of this year that we're in currently, 2026, announces to the public, to the American people, that they're expecting to have a rate cut, meaning an interest rate cut, y'all, by February. But they're unsure of the actual date, but they're saying by February. And you have your emergency fund that you've been building on for the last, let's just say, 9 months to a year, sitting in a drawer in your kitchen. And you have about $2,000. It would behoove you to go ahead, and you heard that being broadcast on the news, it would behoove you to go ahead and move that money to a high yield savings account or interest bearing account before they cut the rate. That way you're locked in at that 4.5, 6.5, 3.5, whatever it is, because it varies from financial institution to financial institution, and it also varies on the amount that you put in. The more you put, sometimes the higher interest you will get. So it would behoove you to go ahead and beat the rate cut and lock it in, versus March, you decide, well, I think I'll go on down to my financial institution and put my $2,000 that I had sitting in my kitchen drawer for my emergency fund, and I'm going to open up a high yield interest account. Yeah, you can. But then you lost yourself a little money that you would have gained instantly by putting it in before they cut the rate by 0.5 percentage point or 1 percentage point. So that's all I'm saying. Food for thought. Maximize your employer benefits. If you are working a traditional job and your employer has what we traditionally know, 401k plans or whatever, please do not say, I'm not going to, I ain't putting no money in that. Why not? It's free money. Maximize it. Don't put the very bare minimum. Put as much as you can in it that's not going to hurt you, so that you get the maximum, so that they have to match what it is you're putting in. That's free money on the back end for you. And at the end of the day, you decide you no longer want to work there, and you've been there for 8 years, 10 years, and you're vested or whatever, then you get to take that money with you, or you get to roll it to a Roth IRA at whatever financial institution you may have one, or set up one somewhere, and take that money that you put in on your part and take their money that they gave you. That's a win-win situation all day long. So please, folks, maximize your employer 401k. Also, if you have any tax advantage accounts that's available to you, such as like a FSA or HSA health spending account, you want to take advantage of that because that's tax free. That could help you pay for over-the-counter drugs. It could help you pay for some prescription drugs. It may help you pay for maybe doctor's copays, this, that, and the third. Everyone now is looking for ways to save on healthcare because healthcare has increased starting today exponentially. Review your insurance policies, folks. Shop around for the best rates, and you always, if you have a home, or if you have an apartment and a car, or a couple of vehicles and an apartment or whatever, and you have renter's insurance and your vehicles insured together, you want to bundle those policies because that will maximize your savings. Some people have, they have their homeowner's insurance with Allstate, and they got the car insurance over there with State Farms. They got the renter's insurance over there with Geico. Bundle your insurance. Shop around though. I challenge you to shop around for the best rates. Now, insurance companies, especially the major ones, matter of fact, all of them, but the major ones are um, very particular as to who they write a policy for, especially if you do not have good credit. Your rate is going to be higher across the board no matter which company you go with. It's still going to be higher than someone who has a decent credit score or a decent FICO score. So know that your credit score will affect how much you pay for your automobile and or your homeowners or renters insurance. Those of you out here with bad credit, try your level best to pull all three of your bureau credit scores. Look for anything that looks out of the ordinary, because you already know who you owe and you know who you didn't pay. Y'all know. Don't try to tell me that bullshit. I'm not here for it. Y'all already know if you got bad credit. Some of you my age and older and a little bit younger. And I'm in my 60s now. And some of y'all got bad ass credit. That was your choice. That's your choice. And of course, also unforeseen circumstances arise and may cause some type of hiccup. But a lot of times you can get some things taken off and some things can be reduced. And you can also have inserted various reasons that you still have that debt hanging over your head. But please make sure that your credit is decent. Because even now, most people, you cannot pretty much exist without having some kind of credit. Because you never know when you're going to need it. Last but not least, invest in yourself. Even if you're retired, gain a new skill, add another skill set to whatever. Even if you're doing a hobby, learn a new hobby. That's still adding a skill. If you had to go back into the workforce, you can perhaps lean on that, or you've at least done that, or you know how to do this. It can only help, not hurt. By adding a new skill or obtaining more education, whichever one you choose, or you may choose all of it, it can only help to increase your earning potential, period, across the board. Sometimes we can gain a new skill free of charge. Even volunteering somewhere and learning something new, that still goes on a resume. Still goes on a resume, folks. Well, I hope that I have been of some value to someone out there on YouTube land. I hope that I haven't bored you. I hope that I have given some type of information to folks that was looking to seek financial freedom and financial growth and being able to save more money in 2026. I hope that I have helped with some ideas that you can take home and apply to your own financial situation in this coming year. I thank you for tuning in. You have been listening to Saving Money Unapologetically with your host, PG. Of course, that is me. In closing, folks, I'm going to say to you, choose hope and believe that you can. Believe that you can win with money, folks. Have hope, even if you're discouraged right now. And there's a lot of people who are. Just know, folks, that you are not alone. But you are also not stuck either. Have hope and believe that you can. And make 2026 be the year to improve your finances. Please. Mindset, folks, is everything. Attitude, your behavior, your actions will control your success in whatever it is you do. Even this little financial tips and tricks and pep talk for 2026's budget and putting some things in place to save a little bit more money and being able to do better financially this year. Mindset is everything. Your attitude, your behavior, and your actions will determine how successful you are in obtaining your financial goals. But choose hope, folks, and believe that you can, and you will. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and remember, whatever you do, do it for less in 2026. Meaning, whatever you do, if you're going to drink some coffee, do it for less. Buy the coffee when it's on sale and stock up. If you're going to go out and purchase a new outfit, buy it for less. Buy it when it's on sale. Buy now. The after Christmas sales are all around. Purchase that new sweater for next year. Purchase that overcoat that you know that you're going to need next fall or next year. Purchase it now. Put it up. Even if you had to purchase it maybe one size too big or one size smaller because you're on a weight loss journey. Do it for less. Thank you all for tuning in. You have been listening to Saving Money Unapologetically with your host, PG, that is me. Thank you. Good night and Happy New Year. Peace and blessings for 2026, y'all. Choose hope and believe that you can win with money. Bye now.